The cause of schizophrenia is unknown. However, there is some valuable research that theorizes both the cause and treatment of the disease. Whilst it cannot be cured, drug therapy aims to nullify the positive and negative symptoms associated with schizophrenia. Advancements in antipsychotics are based around reducing the extrapyramidal and endocrine side effects associated with this class of drug. Cariprazine is an atypical antipsychotic that is currently awaiting approval from the FDA. Dr. Monica Avila and Dr. Erika Florendo discuss the characteristics of cariprazine that are under the microscope from the regulatory body and whether approval is likely.
FDA approval is a long and complex process in order to ensure that all drugs that are put on the market are safe and effective in terms of what their expected and claimed therapeutic uses are. It is the manufacturer's responsibility to conduct all necessary trials to provide evidence ensuring that the health benefits outweigh the risks. The most significant finding so far is a reduction of classical extrapyramidal side effects associated with cariprazine use, such as akathisia, undesirable factors that are commonly seen in typical antipsychotic drugs, such as chlorpromazine and haloperidol. Although due to the novelty of the drug, the lack of total understanding of the specific principles of cariprazine, and constrained inclusion populations for its clinical trials, the drug's approval has been delayed. We know that cariprazine is rapidly absorbed and that it is similar to most antipsychotics in that it is lipid-soluble, allowing it to readily cross the blood-brain barrier. The mean half-life for cariprazine was found to be 2 to 5 days, with the drug remaining effective in a dose-proportional manner over a range of 1.5 to 12.5 milligrams per day. Peak concentration occurs between 3 to 4 hours after oral administration. It undergoes hepatic metabolism and extremely slow elimination. Currently, it is unclear which doses of cariprazine would offer the best balance in terms of efficacy and tolerability. There are currently limited clinical trials that have examined cariprazine metabolism in subpopulations such as the elderly or those with hepatic impairment, and any adverse drug interactions. More information of the elimination of cariprazine is also required. Extending the clinical trial periods for cariprazine to be observed on a long-term basis would be ideal.
The main development of atypical antipsychotics is in relation to the adverse effects of typical antipsychotics, which have an affinity for D2 dopamine receptor subtypes in various neural pathways, sometimes creating debilitating extrapyramidal side effects. This led to the production of cariprazine, which displays affinity for a broader range of receptors. Cariprazine is effective against the positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia. Unlike many antipsychotics that are D2 and serotonin 2A receptor antagonists, cariprazine is a D2 and D3 partial agonist and has a selectively higher affinity for D3 receptors. Due to the overstimulation of dopamine receptors being implicated as a possible cause of schizophrenia, targeting D2 and D3 receptors are important for the treatment of schizophrenia. Its high selectivity towards D3 receptors could prove to reduce side effects associated with other antipsychotic drugs. Cariprazine also acts on serotonin 1A receptor, though the affinity is considerably lower than the affinity to dopamine receptors. Cariprazine has partial agonist as well as antagonist properties depending on the endogenous dopamine levels. When endogenous dopamine levels are high, cariprazine acts as an antagonist by blocking dopamine receptors. On the contrary, when endogenous dopamine levels are low, cariprazine acts as an agonist, increasing dopamine receptor activity. Cariprazine still exhibits unselective behavior and can therefore still cause blockades at the histamine, alpha, and serotonergic receptors, causing sedation, weight gain, and other side effects seen in current antipsychotics. However, in clinical trials, these side effects have not been significant when compared to placebo-controlled data, and the only significant problem evident for cariprazine is akathisia, which has been shown to occur in about 10% of patients. However, unlike other second-generation antipsychotics such as aripiprazole, cariprazine has been shown to have a higher affinity for the D3 dopamine receptor, and because of this, studies have shown that cariprazine actually has the ability to improve memory and cognitive function more superiorly, as opposed to previous second-generation antipsychotics. Therefore, clinical trials have shown cariprazine to have a relatively safe profile in comparison to other antipsychotics.
To be approved, a drug must prove its tolerability, efficacy, and safety within clinical trials. Cariprazine has proven to reduce symptoms associated with schizophrenia, whilst also improving cognitive ability and having only one major side effect associated, that is akathisia. It is within our opinion that cariprazine should be approved by the FDA and be able to be marketed as an antipsychotic.